All right, with the shop to your back, make a left and then another immediate left to enter Spofford Alley. Washington Street will be to your back. I want you to stop at the entrance to the alley and just look at it for a moment. You'll see a mural on the wall to your left and a jewelry store on your right.
Part of the reason the relocation committee was so fervent in their desire to move the Chinese out of the city's center was because of alleys like this.
Last of 3 marked men shot in alley by highbender assassins.
They were considered disorderly, dangerous, and diseased. Just a few years before the earthquake, there was an outbreak of bubonic plague in the neighborhood.
A sudden swoop on the headquarters of Hip Yang's at 2 Spofford Alley.
This alley alone was home to 4 Chinese brothels and an opium den.
60 gamblers are captured and jailed.
Despite the rampant crime, everyday Chinatown may not have been as chaotic as it sometimes appeared to outsiders. Check this out. You see how the numbers of the buildings on your left are out of order? They go 52, 44, 54, then 48. But this makes perfect sense to the owners who chose the numbers. They're lucky. In Chinese, 54, or sapse, sounds close to sai, which means don't need to die, as in a long life. And 48, or sei sapbat, sounds like the phrase for a wealthy life. What seems out of order is actually a meaningful gesture towards good fortune. Now you should be at number 36. It's a red building. Stop here. The numbers were put in after the earthquake, and they may have been a way to ward off some of the less desirable features the alley used to have. Now imagine this place right after the earthquake. The entire alley is just rubble. In fact, the only building left standing in Chinatown is this one, number 36. Imagine it standing here alone, nothing around it for blocks and blocks. All right, let's keep walking. Where some people saw a void, Luk Tin Eli saw an opportunity. He was a follower of the City Beautiful movement. The movement started in the United States in the 1880s and was inspired by European designs with grand avenues, crafted massive parks, and Greek amphitheaters. In San Francisco, there was a proposal to put a 300-foot statue of a goddess on top of Twin Peaks. He wanted to make his neighborhood Chinese beautiful.
You should be getting near the end of Spofford Alley. Make a left at the end of the alley and then walk down Clay Street about half a block to the next alley, Waverly Place.
The next alley will give you a taste of what Chinese beautiful meant to Luk Tin Eli. It's colorful, carnival-like, chock full of symbols like dragons, lanterns, and pagodas, totally different from what you saw in Spofford Alley.
You should be getting to Waverly Place now. Stop at the corner for a moment and look down Waverly to your left.
You see how it's almost hyper-Chinese? Lanterns, flags, and festive streetlights? It looks a little overdone, but think about it as a way of marking territory. It needs to be clear, bold, and this statement becomes even more powerful when you go back to 1906, when troops were guarding this land, not letting any Chinese return to the land that they owned. So how did this place get reclaimed by the Chinese? I have something waiting for you across the street that explains how Luk Tin Eli and the leaders began to stand up to the troops and reclaim this neighborhood.